students and faculties as well in near future.
Sure, sure. At the next opportunity that permits.
Next opportunity will surely permit you, because there is going to be a program, or there are going to be different programs, and for you now, we feel that you are a part of our family, and provided you are available on those particular day, we would be more than happy to be with you.
Sure. Certainly,
Thank
we
you.
will connect with each other. I'll be glad to be associated with you.
Yeah, Dr. Ashwin from Chennai has joined. We welcome you too. Mr. Subramaniam, he is a Vice President Siemens. Dr. Ashwin is Vice President. I'm sorry, I hardly recollect the name of your company. What is it, Dr. Ashwin?
Virtusa.
Vachusa.
Hmm.
Okay, so fortunately, three of us are sitting next to each other, but we cannot maybe say touch each other. That is beauty of virtuality. In just 5 minutes, we will be starting, because few other dignitaries would be joining in 2 minutes.
Sure,
We are
sure,
providing them technical details.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah,
I'll
please.
mute myself until then, until you give a signal.
Yes, sir. Please bear with us for a few minutes.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah. We welcome Professor Rajesh Sharma ji on board, and we are glad to see you here, sir. We will be starting in next 2 minutes. Please bear with us. Two other dignitaries have already joined. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Just bear with us for max 5 minutes, sir, please. Mr. Subramanian, Professor Rajesh Sharma has joined, who is a MSME Government of India member, sitting next to you. And Professor Rajesh Sharma, Mr. Subramanian, Vice President of Siemens, is sitting to your left hand side. You are from Delhi, he is from Mumbai, and I am in Pune. Three of us are maybe sitting next to each other.
Yeah, I could see him. We greeted each other.
Oh, wow, wonderful. I'm sorry, then I have, pipped in and interpreted it.
Very good evening to all.
We welcome Professor Dr. Deepak from Singapore on board, along with other dignitaries. And we are waiting for a minute that Dr. Yunus Kweta from Jordan will be joining in 2 minutes.
You are not audible, Professor Vijay Kulkarni, not audible.
Not audible. Am I audible to others?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. So Dr. Deepak Vaikar, you check maybe see your microphone. Should we wait for 2 minutes more, because Dr. Khitabi from Jordan will be joining in 2 minutes, called and express his regret due to some technical glitch at his end. So that thank you all. Dr. Deepak Vaikar, am I audible to you now? Dr. Vaikar? You please speak something, doctor. Dr. Ashwin, am I audible to you?
Yes, Ashwin. Yes, fine.
It's fine, no?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
able
yeah,
to hear
yeah,
you.
yeah. Oh,
I'm
even
able to hear
now?
you. Jay.
See, everyone else can hear me, but it's some problem with Dr. Deepak Vaikar. Please check.
Dr. Deepak, sir, am I audible to you?
We could hear Dr. Vaikar.
પછી કોફી બનાવજો.
Dr. Vijay, I have a message on the chat screen that Professor Mahbub ul Haq from Dhaka University has joined, but his video is not visible.
Not excuse me, Dhaka University, Daffodil International University, Dhaka.
Sorry. Daffodil.
Yeah.
But he has to switch on and his video. And basically, those who are speaking, they will be given access code to it, and they will be highlighted. Others will be, hearing what dignitaries are speaking to us.
बरोबर हे केलं.
ಎನ್ನುತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ
So, send you link, okay, links are
अपन शुरू करें।
Dr. Deepak, sir.
दीपक सर, now should we start? Professor Devasmita and Dr. Prajakta Das, let us start concluding
Yes,
session,
sir.
please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and I welcome you all on the concluding session of Multidisciplinary International Conference. Today we have with us a lot of guests and speakers. So I request Dr. Vijay Kulkarni sir to give the welcome, to please welcome all of them, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of ADYPU University, Pune, India, I welcome you all, and it's my privilege and honor to give little overview about the conference and 2 days proceeding. We have with us Dr. Ashwin Kumar from Chennai. We have with us Professor Rajesh Sharma ji from Delhi, Government of India. We have with us Mr. Subramanian, Vice President, Siemens. We have with us Dr. Deepak Vaikar, Professor and CEO from Singapore. Dr. Yunus Katabi will be joining in a moment from Jordan. But without wasting much of time, we will start, and I will take you further with a brief overview of conference. As all of you are aware about the fact that Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University has taken initiative in organizing this multidisciplinary international conference on transformation and survival of post-pandemic. It was initiated and organized with associates and collaborators, that is from Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Chitkara University, Punjab, Daffodil International University, Dhaka, Bangladesh, National Institute of Personnel Management, India, and GIF. Global India Business Forum, with support and efforts of each of our contributor, our collaborator, our associates, we could make this conference very successful. I am using word successful. The reason is that we have issued over say 245 plus papers, that is a quality research papers from different cities, from different countries. If I say that, across the globe, will be all right. As far as this conference is concerned, the conference was initiated and organized under the aegis and leadership of our director, Sri Riddesh Deshpande sir. Unfortunately, he is not going to join us because of all of a sudden emergency work at his end, and that is how I am trying to give overview of the conference to all of you. All selected papers will be published in UGC Care journals, and based on their expertise, we have decided that we will be organizing multidisciplinary international forums in 21. The title conference is Breakthrough to Excellence in Education, Entrepreneurship, Environment, E-commerce and Entertainment. This is going to be 3 days international conference, which will be hosted by Ajinkya DY Patil University, which will be physically held on the campus of Ajinkya DY Patil University, the Innovation University in Pune, India. And I'm also glad to announce that the university from Brazil has already shown keen interest to be partnering with us for this forthcoming international conference in the next year on 6th, 7th, and 8th of October. I am announcing this on behalf of the Ajinkya DY Patil University, and to be very precise, as per the directives of our director, Sri Riddesh Deshpande sir. I am sure that next year, all who have joined today, either yesterday, even today, a large number of academicians and industry stalwarts and delegates who have contributed their thoughts and their research, they have submitted their research paper, will continue their support even in next year. With these few words, I hand over this back to anchors Dr. Prakash Das and Professor Devasmita Sina for further proceeding, please.
Thank you, sir. Once again, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone to the valedictory ceremony of, now I can say this, the first multidisciplinary international conference hosted by Ajinkya DY Patil University. It has been a very exciting and a very enlightening 2 days. Without wasting any more time, I would like to request our chief guest today, Professor Rajesh Sharma, to kindly virtually step forward and address us. But before we get to that, Professor Rajesh Sharma has been associated with the Delhi University for a very long time. He's been part of the academic world until recently, where he stepped away from that to work with the Government of India in the MSME ministry, basically working for the Make in India project. On behalf of everyone present here, I welcome you, Professor Sharma. The platform is yours.
Very good evening to all. Dr. Vishwakarni, Dr. Madhu Chitkara, Vice Chancellor, Chitkara University, Punjab, Dr. Eunice, Jordan, Dr. Saltara, Switzerland, Dr. Ashoka, Sri Lanka, Dr. Deepak, Singapore, Dr. Alex, Vietnam. All these days, I dedicated my life to the education system and got immense work. मैंने अपना जीवन शिक्षा प्रणाली को समर्पित कर दिया है। 14 और 15 अक्टूबर 2020 को परिवर्तन और उत्तरजीविता पोस्ट महामारी पर मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस, I would like to invite to speak of positivity will being a part of this international conference. I would like to represent Indian MSME Government of India's schemes. Further, I would like to reflect upon how potential of the Indian youth was utilized in productivity. उत्पादकता में भारतीय युवाओं की क्षमता का उपयोग कैसे किया जाए। इस समय कोरोना महामारी से लगभग 195 कंट्रीज जूझ रहे हैं। ऐसे समय में जो स्टूडेंट्स प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन ले रहे हैं, सबसे ज्यादा उनके लिए समस्या आ रही है क्योंकि वो सेल्फ स्टडी नहीं कर सकते, बुकों से नहीं पढ़ सकते, उनको कुछ मॉड्यूल पब्लिश करने पड़ेंगे, कुछ मॉड्यूल बनाने पड़ेंगे जिससे उनको अच्छी एजुकेशन दे सके। क्योंकि देखिए, एजुकेशन एक ऐसा सिस्टम है जो हमें आगे बढ़ाता है। द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ एजुकेशन, it is no secret that a good education has the power to change a life. Education given us a knowledge of the world. Prepared good education is very important for all of us. देखिए, कोरोना महामारी के लिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने कहा भी है जब तक कोई वैक्सीन नहीं तब तक कोई ढील नहीं। इस कोरोना महामारी के समय में हमें एक चीज को समझना होगा कि किस तरीके से हम अपने, जो पूरे विश्व की हम बात कर रहे हैं 195 कंट्री जो इस समय कोरोना से जूझ रही है, कैसे प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन सिस्टम में हम क्या मॉड्यूल लेकर आए जिससे बच्चों को दिक्कत ना आए, और जो एकेडमिक से हटके प्रोफेशन कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि एकेडमिक वाले तो सेल्फ स्टडी कर सकते हैं, बुक्स रीडिंग कर सकते हैं, लर्निंग बाय डूइंग, बाय लर्निंग बाय एक्सपीरियंस। बट आज के समय में सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम स्टूडेंट्स को ये आ रही है कि ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन उनके लिए फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस है, और प्रोफेसर्स और जो उन सबके लिए भी आ रही है, क्योंकि उन सबके लिए भी ये फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस है। तो मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा कुछ जिससे कि स्टूडेंट्स को दिक्कत ना आए, और जो टीचिंग फैकल्टी है, प्रोफेसर्स है, उनको भी दिक्कत ना आए कि वो स्टूडेंट्स को अच्छी एजुकेशन दे पाए। और जब तक इसकी कोई वैक्सीन नहीं आ जाती तब तक हम पूरे विश्व में जो आज एजुकेशन ऑनलाइन हो रही है उसमें नई नई टेक्निक्स आ रही है, हम कैसी टेक्निक्स लाए जिससे बच्चों को बेनिफिट हो। कोई जूम ऐप का यूज कर रहा है, कोई गूगल का कर रहा है, हमें क्या करना है, कैसे बच्चों को नया सिस्टम देना है। अभी न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी हम भारत सरकार लेके आई है, क्या हम कर सकते हैं, ये सब देखना है हमें। मैं सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा इस कार्यक्रम में आई वुड लाइक टू दी Professor Dr. Vijay Kulkarni and all the other dignity who have joined international conference. Thanks for giving me opportunity to share my views and providing the platform to express my views. देखिए, बोलने के लिए तो मेरे पास बहुत कुछ है, क्योंकि मेरा इतना वास्ट एक्सपीरियंस है। लगभग 28 से मैं इस टीचिंग कम्युनिटी में रहा, जिसमें दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी, हिमाचल यूनिवर्सिटी, NIOS, SCRT, इग्डोल, अब मैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एमएसएमई, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में मेक इंडिया प्रोजेक्ट को देख रहा हूं। बट मेरा टाइम पीरियड से एक लिमिट करके डॉक्टर विजय कुलकर्णी जी ने मुझे कहा कि सिर्फ 10 मिनट्स के लिए बोलना है। तो मैं पॉलिटिक्स में भी हूं, इन्होंने मुझे कहा कि पॉलिटिक्स पे कुछ नहीं बोलना है। अगर मैं पॉलिटिक्स पे कुछ बोल गया तो मैं क्षमा चाहूंगा सभी से। देखिए, मैं सिंस 1989 से राजनीति में हूं, तो राजनीति तो मेरे खून में है। ठीक है कि मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में 28 टीचिंग प्रोफेशन में रहा, चाहे दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी हो, चाहे हिमाचल यूनिवर्सिटी हो, चाहे NIOS हो, चाहे SCRT हो, चाहे NCRT हो, चाहे NIOS, सब में रहा। परंतु मेरा जो PhD है वो भी पॉलिटिकल साइंस में ही है। मैं पॉलिटिकल साइंस में ही मैंने PhD की, MPhil की, दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का टॉपर रहा। दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में 23 एज में मैंने प्रोफेसरशिप ले ली थी। और मैंने अपने स्टूडेंट्स को भी हमेशा एक ही बात कही कि पढ़ाई सिर्फ डिग्री लेने के लिए मत करो, पढ़ाई नॉलेज के लिए करो। क्योंकि आपके पास नॉलेज होगी तो आप भूखे नहीं मरोगे, परंतु अगर आपके पास नॉलेज नहीं है, सिर्फ किताबी ज्ञान है, वो जीवन में कभी काम नहीं आता। कहते भी नथिंग इज गुड और बैड बट थिंकिंग मेक्स इट सो। हमें जीवन में कुछ ऐसा करके दिखाना चाहिए जो लीक से हट करो। अब जो कोरोना के टाइम में हम सब जूझ रहे हैं, आज से पहले क्या किसी ने सोचा था कि ऐसा कुछ होगा? किसी ने नहीं सोचा था। परंतु अब इस समय 195 कंट्रीज को फेस कर रही है। तो मैं तो सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर कुलकर्णी जी को कि आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक्स प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर कुलकर्णी जी कि आपने मुझे जो प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड किया जिससे कि मैं अपनी बात रख पाया। बहुत कुछ रखना चाहता हूं मैं। कभी आप दोबारा किसी प्रोग्राम में मुझे बुलाए तो कम से कम मुझे 30 या 40 मिनट्स का टाइम दे, जिससे कि जो भारत सरकार की जो न्यू पॉलिसीज है, न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है, या मेक इंडिया, स्किल इंडिया के ऊपर जो हम फोकस कर रहे हैं, मैं उस पर भी कुछ बोल पाऊं। क्योंकि आपने तो रिसर्च पेपर की बात करी, तो रिसर्च पेपर तो मैंने आप लोगों के देखे नहीं, सुने नहीं, मैं उस प्रोग्राम में नहीं था, मैं आज के प्रोग्राम में ही हूं। तो मुझे लगता है शायद मेरा 10 मिनट से ज्यादा का समय ना हो गया हो, इसलिए मैं अपनी बात को यही विराम देते हुए मैं फिर दोबारा से थैंक्स फॉर गिविंग मी अपॉर्चुनिटी टू शेयर माय व्यूज एंड प्रोवाइडिंग द प्लेटफॉर्म टू एक्सप्रेस माय व्यूज। मैं सबको धन्यवाद कहना चाहूंगा। और अगर कोई राजनीति की बात आ गई हो तो उसके लिए मैं आप सबसे क्षमा भी मांगना चाहूंगा। थैंक्स।
Thank you, Professor Rajesh, sir. Our chief guest for the day is also here. I request Dr. Yonis Ketiabi to please switch on your camera. Dr. Ketiabi? Hello?
The camera is on now.
Okay, sir. Sir, I welcome you. Welcome you, sir. Dr. Yonis Ketiabi, sir, is a management consultant and a trainer, president of Arab Trade Trainers Union, president of Georgian Trainers Society, chairman of Federation of International Trainer, and a speaker. Sir is a professional strategic thinker with a special application over 29 years of multitude of experience delivering innovative management solution for distinguished clients with a focus on strategy and development planning, marketing, human resource management, innovative training and development solution, exceptional leadership abilities, diverse background, educated and professionally trained in many countries, proficient at applying various methodology to achieve goals. Sir has given a training and training workshops and courses over 200, more than 200. So I welcome you, sir, for this session, and I request you to please, the platform is yours, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rajat. Thank you very much for introducing me in such a way that I think I don't have all these abilities and capabilities. But the most thing is that I am post-graduated from India. So I am always proud that my teachers are Indians. I learned from them, and that makes me, yes, a great leader because I learned from great leaders. Today, I'm really glad to be with you. Though I always wish to be close, very close to you, but today we are contacting virtually. That's only because even we don't have any barriers. Nothing to stop us from meeting. Nothing stops us from sharing our ideas, our knowledge, our skills. Always there is a way to get to your goals. And today, this conference, we usually travel from Jordan to India to be with my all colleagues and friends there. Today, I'm meeting them through this media. And that's also great that it does not stop us from meeting each other. When we talk about the pandemics, about COVID-19 and its impact, I always say if there is any challenges, there is always an opportunities. And we don't say it's creating problems as if it's creating challenges. And challenge is not a problem. When we say challenge, that means we are going to defeat it. When you challenge, when there is a wrestler challenge other wrestler, that means he's challenging him to defeat him. That means we have to have the strength, we have to have the knowledge, we have to have the abilities and the capabilities to face this problem. Since it is an international problem everywhere, I think we always put the hands together, whether it's going to be for a few months or it will continue for years. Life has to go. We don't have to stop here. So especially in the universities and this innovative university, Ajinka Patil University, and I have just gone through and looked at the university and how they developing fast. So here I tell all my friends and my colleagues that yes, we have a challenge, but we have to fight this challenge we have to beat the challenges, which is of course the COVID-19. We have to go through by developing more innovation methods, more innovation tools to use it. And always we say, when there is a problems, when there is a crisis, when there is challenges, always there are opportunities. I think now for the economic wise, yes, there are some are suffering, but there are always an opportunity for others to grow more and to use this situation by implementing a new technology and get into the first, because the first person always to be remembered. I don't want to talk for long. I know that your schedule is full. So thank you very much for giving me this chance, and anyone.
Thank you very much, sir, for reminding us once again that challenges inspire innovation, always have and will continue to do so. It was a pleasure listening to you. Thank you so much once again. We have several other people with us today, and next I would like to request the Vice President of Siemens Limited, Mr. Subramanian Anantharaman, to please come forward and speak to all of us. Mr. Anantharaman has over 25 years of experience in the industry and has held various business positions in Siemens. In his current capacity as the Vice President, he is responsible for integrating work for major acquisitions made by Siemens, along with handling various changes that happen within the organization. He has, of course, a tremendous amount of valuable experience, but other than that, he's also interested in teaching, painting, wildlife, spirituality, and we would really love to hear from you, sir. So over to you.
Sorry for disturbing you all of us. मेरे को इस प्रोग्राम के बीच में से जाना पड़ेगा क्योंकि मेरी एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है मिनिस्ट्री की और उसका टाइम हो रहा है। आप सबने मुझे सुना, इसके लिए डॉक्टर विजय कुलकर्णी जी मैं आपको धन्यवाद और नमस्कार देता हूं, और इस प्रोग्राम के बीच से मुझे बीच में जाना पड़ रहा है, इसके लिए मैं आप सबसे क्षमा भी चाहता हूं।
So, namaste, all of you. Can you all hear me?
We can, sir.
I have sent my slides to Pranay with a request that he flashes on the screen. Yeah, thank you very much. So you also give me the presenter rights. Yeah, thanks. So first of all, Dr. Kulkarni, I congratulate you as your convener together with other colleagues for pulling a fantastic event of this nature, of this scale. And you proved that it is still possible to have a valuable knowledge exchange despite the pandemic situation. So I have about 10 minutes now. It's 4:38. I try to do until about 4:50. So first of all, I only hope that all the participants here, including the co-panelists, you're all very safe and insulated from the impact of COVID in any manner, and also your families. So on this note, how I want to do this chat session with you all is, I want to first dwell on what is my perspective of the current Indian state of economy and also the measures that the government is taking, and a little bit of a crystal ball gazing as to what would happen going forward. And the second part of my piece would be about how organizations are coping up with a specific focus on entrepreneurial leadership. So this is how I want to give my 2 pennies worth, an industry's perspective, industryman's perspective into this academic world. So if you look at the economy where we stand today, we are facing the first recession after liberalization in 1991, perhaps the worst. We are among the worst affected countries in ASEAN. But there are also strong fundamentals with the Indian economy. We will add about 110 million of working age population, by which we will have about 1/5 of the world's working age population until 2030. And as all of you know, the other fundamentals are extremely strong in terms of our domestic consumption is high and it is essentials driven largely rather than discretionary spends driven like in the Western world. Now, in the midst of this COVID, the government announced policies, and what we have to take a look at is two major items in the bucket list. One is the stimulus package, which is the largest by far, which is about $280 billion, which is roughly about 10% of our annual GDP. Now, of which 1.5% is directly a fiscal spend, which means it's a fiscal cost to the government, and the rest are more in terms of loans and guarantees and other liquidity measures. You see, like any, nobody is happy with what our government does. You always have an naysayers and a naysayers. But then as a businessman, I strongly believe that you take what is available, because everyone is operating under circumstances, constraints, and you see what you can do to reinvent yourself. And there are also wonderful reforms which have also happened. For the first time, we have brought our corporate tax significantly down to a level which is comparable to all other countries. And we also have a drive of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the Make in India program. So my belief is, although we will shrink in 2021, and the recent RBI estimate is that we will be 9% down compared to fiscal 20. But I do believe that anywhere between 22 to 24, we will come back to our pre-COVID output. And on a next decade level, about 8 to 10% of GDP growth is quite possible. This is a strong belief I have. So I always go back to this famous saying that the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And the best way to invent is to put in our power of conviction into what we believe will happen. Now let's take a look at, on the ground in the businesses, what companies have done. And as the earlier professor said, in the challenges lie our opportunities. And what are they? See, currently we have to admit, whether we like it or not, although our ease of doing business has gone up significantly from position 140 to 77, but 77 is still not a great number if you have to attract the kind of capital. We have infrastructure gaps that we need to plug in transportation. And if I have to give a figure in perspective, the average speed of an Indian freight train has touched about 35 kilometers at best today. And that is how fast it is. And if you can make the speed to 70 kilometers, then possibly the materials would reach at least a few days earlier, and that would have a 0.5% impact on the GDP. And we have complex labor laws and land acquisitions, and the government is also actively pursuing reforms. And we do have a high financing cost. But as I said before, I believe our recovery will be faster than the Western countries, because our economy is predominantly consumption or essential consumptions driven. And our urbanization story is still going strong. But for this pandemic situation, our cities will attract talents and will be a biggest job creator. Our issue today is our manufacturing sector has not been systematically developed to the level of advanced countries. We are still at 15%, and our Prime Minister has a vision to take it to 25%. And to have a sustainable manufacturing and to overcome these challenges of urbanization, there is a vision also to increase the investment to GDP ratio from the current 30% to 33%. And it's a great opportunity for the private sector who want to be in the space of manufacturing. And the public sector also will invest heavily in infrastructure. And India still has a great potential on exports. Currently, if you see the share of exports of a global trade of $20 trillion, we are just about 1.7%. Even if we get anywhere close to the vision of 5%, what we said, it's a great opportunity for all the MSMEs and SMEs in the country. as opposed to 1.7%, we should say that Vietnam has done a tremendous job. They are already at 1.2%. But my belief is that with all the anti-Chinese sentiments growing, and the fact that the Vietnam is not even 1/10 of our size perhaps, they will hit a geographical saturation in terms of output. And therefore, my belief is that all the economies will look at India for future FDIs. Now, there was a study done by some consultants, I guess it's BCG, of top 1,000 companies. And I was surprised that about 15 to 20% of these companies across 20 sectors, they have actually increased their revenues and their profitability in this pandemic. And majority of them are coming from the IT, telecom, pharma, FMCG, and technology, but nearly all of the sectors also have standing examples. And the expected recovery in 2021, which is our the current fiscal, would be in the sectors that you see on the screen, which is health insurance, pharma, agri for sure, chemical, FMCG, IT, and rural sectors. And of course, the other core sectors will also have a recovery, but they will be deferred, namely your steel and cement and so on, because unless they hit a certain level of a capacity utilization, they will not go into the investment cycle. And amazingly, I also heard from the former CIA director Tarun Das that there are micro entrepreneurship that are going, and roughly about 5,000 such units have already come up, creating about 250,000 jobs. Now, how these companies have survived? First and foremost, to understand for the organization is to preserve cash. And cash is just not the king. I would say in the times of crisis, cash is also the queen, the knight, and every member of the loyal family. And keep in mind that cash is not profit. Many organizations, the smaller ones especially, they think profit is cash. It is not. Profits will sit in many asset buckets, and one of the asset bucket is cash. If the profit is sitting in cash asset bucket, then there is something the organization can do to sustain and to thrive. But if it is sitting in other asset buckets, such as receivables, for instance, then there is nothing much you can do. Your operations can come to a grinding halt. So there is a golden mantra. One is that the organization should collect more and should collect faster. And when it comes to spending, we should spend less and spend later. And there are multiple levers by which these great organizations, they conserve cash. One is, of course, to control expenditures. And next important thing is to defer investments and not curtail investments. You can always delay your investments into the future. And these organizations have also retained the customers' trust, and they have reached out to their own customers much more than before with their digital offerings, because you don't find new customers. And therefore, you got to find ways to retain your existing customers and be available to them for greater value creation. And there has been fantastic examples of cross-sector collaborations. One of the example being ITC as an organization, they're using Domino Pizza's outlet and their runner boys for their last mile delivery. So this is a fantastic way to keep their business continuity and also create the experience. Now, these organizations also have spent enough of their energies to develop a future, to prepare a great future. And one of the topics that we discussed is preserving customer loyalty. And there is another aspect which they have been doing, which is redesigning their current portfolios. And I was told that an organization, I don't quickly recall, they have prepared a 1 rupee hand sanitizer sachet packets. And that's a great innovation, because on the move, you can purchase a few of your sanitizers and then keep yourself safe from infection. And that's a fantastic way. And FMCG like Hindustan Levers, they have increased the size of their delivery packets, such that the number of times that you will have to do shopping is also lesser without impinging on the demand. So these are some of the ways that they have innovated to keep themselves afloat, not only afloat, but also to invent a new future. Now, all that boils down to what I call as an entrepreneurial mindset. And that's exactly the job of a leader. I strongly believe that the most valuable asset of an organization is not the technology, is the employee. And the employees will remain the best of an asset so long as the leaders are able to maintain and properly nurture that asset. What we need in the current situation is we need a greater mix of leader to manager ratio. What I mean to say is there is a natural instinct on the part of the managers to get into a control mode, to understand what's happening in the field, to define metrics of performance, to monitor, measure their performance, and then also implement consequential actions. But from this control, traditional control, they will have to move to what is called as a trust-based leadership. Because a manager will not have an answer to all questions that the current uncertainty or the VUCA environment poses. And therefore, it takes all kinds of diverse skills to deliver a solution for which he or she has to trust his employees. And it's also important for the same reason that these leaders have to create learning organizations. A learning organization is not about an individual becoming better at what he is doing. It's important that an individual also draws upon the learning of his peer and draw upon that resource and the skill sets in order to create new solutions in the environment. And lastly, I'll just touch about entrepreneurial mindset. What this means is, it begins with experimentation. Experimentation clearly means that a leader has to move his team out of the comfort zone in order to define new business models, and even if it required to burn his own safety platform on which the team is standing in order to invent a future. And he has got to deliver a message that risk tolerance is what is required and not risk avoidance, which means the organization has to build a certain amount of resilience by asking itself a question: what did I learn out of this which has backfired? Which opportunity did I miss? Rather than avoiding an experiment. So this is essentially leading the team with curiosity, and it is with the entrepreneurial mindset that I have seen consistently many successful organizations, including the one that I'm working, Siemens Limited, have not only survived this crisis, but also is bouncing back with greater customer goodwill, with better product innovations, and also with improved financial performances in the current times. So on this note, then I close my speech, and thank you very much for your audience again. And here are my coordinates, and I can be contacted anytime by the panelists or by any of the participants here if you would like me to dwell a little bit more into any of these aspects that I spoke. Thank you very much once again, colleagues.
Thank you so much, sir. I think this just adds so many layers of nuance to what we were talking about earlier, about challenges also being opportunity. I think some of the nuggets of gold that you added to that view were how profits can be redefined, how leadership needs to be trust-based, educational institutes and individuals need to collaborate, and largely how we need to have an entrepreneurial mindset. So again, gratitude for those insights. Thank you so much. I would like to move on and call upon our next guest today. He is Dr. Ashwin Kumar, Senior Vice President of Virtusa. In his current role, he heads capability transformation and operations, comes with 24 years of extensive experience of working with top Fortune 500 companies in domains across retail, banking, education, travel, logistics, and IT. His focus his research focus has been employability and emotional intelligence, and he firmly believes that emotional intelligence and employability connect together and is something that the entire nation should be focusing on. Other than that, he is an NLP practitioner, a habit coach. He's passionate about fitness and manages a trust called Bringing Smiles, which works towards underprivileged children. It is a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Please, you may begin and share your views. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonanal. Thanks for the opportunity and thanks for the lovely introduction. It's always nice to hear what you have done so far, and it's with a lot of gratitude. Thanks. In terms of thanks for the opportunity, first of all. I don't know how much I will be able to contribute to this session, but I think I am learning the previous 2-3 sessions from people. I've learned a lot of insights into the Indian economy is part of it, and the education focus part of it. So let me try to do, I think I've got 10 minutes. I will try to do justice in terms of the opportunity given. So we talked about this, right? Now Google knows everything these days. You know something, you just ask Google and Google says. And now with Alexa integration, you don't have to go to this thing also. You can just say and it will tell you what you need. So the knowledge economy will not pay you. How you use that knowledge is only going to pay you. So the very important is about, as one of the previous speakers said, about doing something, taking risk and doing some innovations. That's what is going to make the difference. And this post-pandemic, I'll touch upon 10 points, which are already important, but post-pandemic or as we come out of this pandemic is going to be very important. First point, data literacy, the ability to derive meaningful information. In any role, in anything that you do, whether you are an educationist, whether you are a hotel owner, whether you are an IT professional, how do you understand data in your field is going to be very important, because data is going to flow. And because of this online venture, data is going to be available to. See, in an offline mode, data availability is always a question. But because now everything is online, you will get data. How do you infer from that data is going to be a very important. That's the first point which I want to say. Critical thinking allows you to analyze the situation. Now this is a skill set which we look for engineers when we hire into the IT industry. I'm sure you do that in every other industry too. Critical thinking, because what is going to happen is that projects that we are winning, the projects that we are getting are not those run-of-the-mill projects. Projects we getting are really innovative. The customers are really innovative, because all the stuff which can be mundane are already automated, are already run by robots. So now the work which is coming is really top class and very critical. So your critical thinking becomes very important. And any tool, any methodologies that you use, any sessions that you take to improve critical thinking is going to be really important. Tech savviness, I don't have to talk about this. Any field you have to be tech savvy. You have to know, and you can be see, I can tell you from my experience, when I talk to customers, typically we used to talk to the IT department. Now it's all gone. We talk to the business, because they are also tech savvy. Our customers have all become tech savvy. So they know as much technology as you and I. So you need to get that tech savviness into you. Whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it's IoT, you need to know what's happening in the world. And now with this information overload, you need to choose what you have to know also. But getting tech savvy, coming out of the comfort zone. Let me give you a small example. I have a daughter who is in 9th standard. I was actually listening to our Sanskrit teacher, who was not touched a computer, and taking classes for my daughter, and taking correcting examination papers in online. Within 2 months, a 60-year-old teacher has been able to transform herself. A Sanskrit teacher has been able to transform. That's the level of flexibility that we are talking about. And tech savviness is going to be key. And one thing I'm proud to say, that we are in this country which we are highly flexible, and I'm sure we are going to learn. And somebody told in the previous presentation, the work class which India is going to have is going to be really important for us. That's going to be a key differentiator. And how education moves from just not education and also making technically people competent is going to be the game changer. I was reading somewhere, colleges, universities have to focus on skill. Skill parameter is going to be very important, because nobody will have the time, the industry will not have the energy and time to teach skills. So the universities, even this multidisciplinary sessions which are being arranged by DY Patel with collaboration with me is a clear step towards it. Adaptability and flexibility, you can now talk about, we are talking to every person in the world. The time zones have changed. So adaptability and flexibility is going to be really key. How we are going to be adaptable. I already touched upon creativity and innovation. This one, how do we tell our engineers, the people who are going to join your universities, how do you get them creative? How do you make them innovative? Because I can tell you for sure, projects that we are winning are not the run-of-the-mill projects. I talked about emotional intelligence. That's my thesis all about. I couldn't present the slides here. I will do it next time when I get a chance. If you read the World Economic Forum, and if you read the skill sets that have been introduced in the 2020, emotional intelligence comes into picture. It's your EI which makes you different from anybody. Then now you're going to work with the global is now a true picture, right? Every industry now is going global and on the net. So you're going to have the cultural intelligence. When you talk to a person from Europe, when you talk to a person from Japan, when you talk to a person from Singapore, how do you understand the cultural nuances? There is a saying in Singapore, if you say, I will get back to you, that it's not a word at all. I will get back to you in how much time? It's an addition. So you have to know the cultural nuances of the people that you're going to talk to. Coming into somebody touched about entrepreneurial leadership, it's a very important point. And I can see that now freshers who are joining companies get exposed to the customers from day one because of the agile world. We all work in the agile. You must have heard about the agile story. The agile world represents everybody is exposed to the customer. Nobody previously, when I joined the IT industry 24 years back, it took 2 years for me to meet the customer. Nowadays, freshers who join, talk to the customer day one or maybe 7 days after induction. So very important that they show leadership. When I say leadership, it's about self-management. Self-management is part of the leadership. Then getting into complex decision making. Previously, decision making was all about managers and leaders. Now the decision making is at an engineer level because they are working on critical things. So very important that we teach our children decision making. Last, collaboration. What happens is today in the real world, right? We can when there is offices, the collaboration was easier. Now with all this remote thing happening, collaboration, believe me, is going tougher by the day because we need to know that the person is working. We need to know that so there is a lot of self-integrity which is expected. So collaboration and team working is very important. So this is the 10 skills which you talked about. If you look at it, data literacy is going to be very critical. Critical thinking is going to be very critical. Tech savviness is going to be very critical. Adaptability, creativity, emotional intelligence, cultural intelligence, leadership, complex decision making, and team working are those top 10 skills. And I will stop here saying that the biggest differentiators for the universities is the universities which teach people skills. And I'm using the wrong word, teach. Skills cannot be taught. Skills has to be somewhere imbibed. People have to transform into those skills. How do they do it will make differentiators for the universities, for the colleges. Thanks for the opportunity. And my name is Ashwin. I'm from Chennai. I work in a company called Virtusa. Been in multiple other companies. Thanks for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to the other talks. Thanks. I will hand over the session to the moderator. They can call the other speakers.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashwin Kumar, for so beautifully summing all of that up, all these little streams of thought that we had going together. I think you brought them all to closure with the 10 qualities that were the WHO?
Yeah.
WHO has put forth. Thank you so much. I would like now my co-presenter, Dr. Prajakta Das, to take over.
Thank you, Deepika. We have with us as a guest of honor Dr. Deepak Vaikar, Professor and CEO, Edu Energy, Singapore. Sir, over to you.
Oh, okay, good evening. Can you hear me? Somebody has to tell me. Okay, otherwise I may be talking to myself.
Yes,
Okay,
sir,
good evening, everybody. Yes.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Yes, honorable distinguished members on the virtual dais, okay, and delegates, authors, experts. I'm very, very delighted to visit Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University virtually from Singapore. Okay. And congratulations to Professor Vijay Kulkarni ji and his team for making this happen in spite of, as some of the speakers have said, in spite of these challenging times. कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है, कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है कि कम वक्त कोरोना न होता तो क्या होता, कम वक्त कोरोना न होता तो क्या होता, मगर ये हो न सका और इसलिए मुझे आपसे आभासी दुनिया से बात करनी पड़ रही है. For our friends from overseas, yes, we are saying this corona about the corona, because of which I have to now speak to you virtually. And I do understand the sentiments mentioned by Subramaniam ji and Dr. Ashwin ji. Yes, there is a crisis, and probably we should look in the opportunities. But many a times, we have to think about what is on the ground. Okay? Now I can share with you that when I traveled from Mumbai to Singapore on 25th of June this year, on a special plane, hundreds of aircrafts were stranded in Mumbai airport. When we landed in Singapore, hundreds of aircrafts were stranded in Singapore airport. Airlines are losing billions of dollars. They have asked their employees work without pay for next few months. Yes, there are certain companies which are making good profits. I'm not disputing that. But there are many who are not making profits. Unemployment is one of the highest now, including Singapore, United States. I think figure in India, you know better than me. Now, what is this I am mentioning about? Yes, this is the crisis, but this has also helped us to change at a faster rate in certain areas. One of them is obviously infrastructure in healthcare, and I was chairing one session on healthcare and wellness, and I was very happy to know that now artificial intelligence is coming over there to help us in that direction. Later on today, I had an opportunity to attend the environment and sustainability session, and the speakers were mentioning about various research work they are doing on how to make things sustainable. Now, though the pandemic has created such a crisis, and we are stranded, some of them are moving, some of them are not. But this change was happening, as mentioned by some of the speakers, last few years. Climate change is one of them. And Industry 4.0 revolution is another one. They were already restructuring our economies, restructuring jobs. And what we have seen during this COVID period is it has accelerated that one, some of the things. Now imagine for 8 or 9 months, our colleges and schools are closed. I come from education industry also. And our many professors have to quickly readjust. Yes, there are some good stories, wonderful stories to listen from them, inspiring stories. But at the same time, there are also digital divide problem. We have to accept that. Unless you want to camouflage that under only 10 to 15% growth, the percentage of industries growing, then we are not doing service to the entire community. We have now remote professors, the professors who are teaching from remote. Like me, I'm talking from remote to you. Remote professors. And there is a tremendous challenge in education sector itself. Some of the reports say that now many private colleges in the United States of America, almost 15 to 20% have already closed. There are no students joining it because their parents have lost the job. Loan, they are not getting it. No surety to get the loan. And if that trend continues, there is going to be transformation in education system. Now, whatever we are talking about the old education system, do you want to come back to that? That is a question we have to ask. Do you want to come back to same gridlock in transportation? Do you want to come back to the same pollution? That is a question to be asked. Do you want to come back to all migrants going to the big cities and making it crowded one, and then your infrastructure cannot cope with that? Unless we rethink about it, there is no point talking about painting a good picture in future. Because if now whatever has happened, it has accelerated, and all universities, colleges and schools, they have to learn to adjust to this one in the future also. Hybrid mode will be the common mode in future. You like it or not. Hybrid mode. We have to utilize this technology to transform our education system so that we can do the multidisciplinary, if whatever even requires skill-based one, customized learning. So that now instead of all students flocking from all their home, coming to the universities and campuses and staying in hostel and whatever, things have changed. Now universities and colleges and school have to go to the homes of the students to teach them. And that opportunity means when you are doing this, your online lessons to a students who is staying in the home, you're not only educating one student, you have opportunity to influence whole family. That is a kind of impact we can think about. That is the kind of opportunity we can think about. Same way for the work also. Now, enough of doing the old ways. This has been driven to us now. If we still don't want to change our mindset, it is our fault. If we still want to go back to the old way, it is our fault. Not we are not learned about it. What is use of teaching those critical thinking and you don't want to learn about it? Only telling as per education policy, we need a critical thinking. I mean, when you are going to use it, this is the time the critical thinking has to be used. This is time whatever mentioned by Subramanian ji about entrepreneurial spirit has to be used. Not in future, now. Now is the time. And if you are going to wait it, we will be passed on. One of the transformation will be missing. And that transformation is rethinking about our centralized mentality. Whatever mentioned in the national education policy about making the institutes and colleges bigger one, they have to rethink now. Because if you get another virus, that is not sustainable. So we have to rethink about that. Decentralized one. Okay, distributed manufacturing. I think Siemens has got a lot of transformation technologies. They can definitely help in that. This is what the new future, if you're looking for, then there is a scope for hope. But if you want to go back to the old ways, saying that, okay, we get a vaccine and within whatever n number of months, we are back, flocking again everywhere, crowding, then we have missed greatest opportunity to learn about those, whatever the skill mentioned by Dr. Ashwinji, whatever the entrepreneur spirit mentioned by Subramaniamji, and whatever the initial talk given by Professor Vijayji at the opening. That is the kind of change we have to think about it. I'm really thankful to each one of you giving me opportunity to share with you. I have Professor Kulkarni ji, I have made short three lines. Can I speak in a little bit Marathi? कधी इथे कधी तिथे, कधी इथे कधी तिथे, फिरतो देशादेशात. कधी इथे कधी तिथे, फिरतो देशादेशात, फिरतो देशादेशात, अजब ही करोनाची साथ, अजब ही करोनाची साथ. Okay, so maybe you can translate for the members from overseas. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and I look forward for future conferences so that we can collaboratively do more. Okay, multidisciplinary international conference, skills versus knowledge. Industry has to come with universities. Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, don't expect only university to do it. As Dr. Ashwin said, no, industry has to come with us. Then and then the skill versus knowledge you can talk about. Industry doesn't want to come it, don't talk about it. I will say keep industry 4.0 revolution with you. We'll bring education 5.0. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Vijay Kulkarni, sir, Marathi is not my mother tongue, but I would love to have that translated, if you please. You give to
Yeah, I request Dr. Deepak Vaikar to please, translate what you have said in Marathi. It will be appropriate if you translate with your own thoughts and words.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much. I will try my best. Okay, means अभी मेरा क्या है कि बाहर रह के मेरा मराठी हिंदी सब थोड़ा खिचड़ी हो चुका है. Okay. Sometimes here, sometimes there. कदी थे, कदी तिथे. Okay. घूमते फिरतो means going round and round from one country to another country. Okay, going round and round from one country to another country. That is what we call corona's. Okay, corona's virus. Coronavirus is doing it. That is what coronavirus is doing it. So in Marathi, I say "Ajab hi corona cheer." This is on a very famous song in Marathi. Probably Vijay, okay. Madhu ithe ani chandra tithe, firto andharat, ajab hi madhu chandra chira.
Thank you so much, sir. It is what could have been better than to end on the note that we need to rethink everything that we are doing while we are facing a challenge, and that brings an opportunity, and there are all these things that we need to do. But the essence is that now is the time, and along with the opportunity, I think comes a lot of responsibility for all of us to stand here today, rethink everything that we're doing, and pave the path for future. Thank you so much for your wonderful words and insights. I would now again request Dr. Prajakta to please take over and let us go to one of the most awaited parts of today. I know there are a lot of the paper presenters in the audience right now, and they must be waiting eagerly to know what the outcomes were. So over to you, Prajakta.
Thank you, Devasmita. In this 2 days conference of Multidisciplinary International Conference, which is held, we have got an overwhelming response of approximately or more than 200 papers, and few of them have presented. So we have been doing a simultaneous 4 tracks for 2 days. It started at around 11 o'clock in the morning and today it ended at 4, and yesterday it ended at around 6:30. So there was a very overwhelming response and we are really, very happy. And it gives me an immense pleasure, and this is my opportunity that I would like to tell you the results in each tracks. The best paper which has been given the highest marks by the jury member. Okay, and the jury is consisting of 3 people. Every panel is having a 3 member. So without any further delay, let me tell you track wise and date wise who are the winners. So in the first track, which was held yesterday on 14, in track 1, healthcare and well-being, Gwen Fernandez got the maximum marks, and he's been awarded he's been appreciated by the jury member to be the best paper presenter. In track 2, that is entrepreneurship and innovation, Renu Shashank Jahagirdar. In track 3, technology for the future, it's Dr. Rajesh Paldu and Mr. Trivedi. And in track 4, environmental and sustainable development, Mr. Shomu Das. These are the winners, 4 winners for yesterday, and for 15, that is for today's tracks. Track 1, community and livable society, we have Swati Tayal and Atul Naik. Track 2, entrepreneurship and innovation, Vilma Diaz. Technology for the future is Dr. Rahul Khandelwal. And track 4, environmental and sustainable development, Sumedha Kalpataru and Sulagna Chena. I just would like to inform everyone over here that Sumedha Kalpataru and Sulagna Chena are student of MBA in ADYPU. So I congratulate all the winners and all the paper presenter and those who have participated. Thank you. Since this results have been declared, now I request Dr. Makran Joshi, sir, to please give the vote of thanks. Over to you, Dr. Makran Joshi.
Unfortunately, Dr. Makran Joshi is having some audio problem at his end. So
I guess there is some technical, he's not able to unmute himself.
Dr. Makran Joshi,
so please bear with us. Our technical team, could you please look into this matter?
Makran Joshi. I was aligned. I believe that Dr. Makran Joshi will not be in position to get back to us or join back with us. I'm extremely sorry. Otherwise, he was supposed to give the vote of thanks for the concluding session. I sincerely thanks each one of you for sparing your valuable time, giving insights, thoughtful insights, and even the direction for future that how one is required to look ahead and maybe say one can go with the challenges which are faced in a pandemic situation. To name it, I will start with Dr. Ashwin Kumar, Dr. Subramaniamji, Dr. Deepak Vaikar, Professor Shah, and Dr. Inus Khatabi, Professor Firdaus Shrab, though he is he has not contributed to the valedictory as such, but he is one of the eminent speaker. And there were again a few of our colleagues from Daffodil universities who have joined but were not able to put on their cameras or maybe say the videos for that matter. Once again, I sincerely thanks each one of you for making concluding session very, very useful. And we look forward to you welcoming on Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University. As I have announced in the beginning, that on behalf of Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University, we are happy to announce that under the aegis of our director, Sri Riddesh Deshpande, we have announced multidisciplinary international conference, which will held on 6th, 7th, and 8th of August in Pune on Ajinkya DY Patil University campus. The details I have already posted in chat box. In the beginning, when I have talked about and announced about, already, I have given details about it. And I look forward that though we were not able to physically meet, but the thoughts cannot be stopped whether we are meeting physically or even virtually. The thoughts have come from Professor Deepak Vaikar to Dr. Ashwin Kumar, to Dr. Subramaniam ji, to Dr. say Yunus Katabi ji, all, though we are sitting at different places, but thoughts as such, thought process and thoughts as such have been synchronized in such a nice manner that, we were more than happy to hear you, listen you carefully. With these few words, I conclude, I declare that this conference is over, today's conference is over, and we are eager to welcome you on Ajinkya DY Patil campus for next year. Dr. Ashwin, Dr. Subramaniam ji, though he is not doctor, but tomorrow he is going to be declared doctor, so I am announcing Dr. Subramanian. I know that, and in fact, Dr. Deepak Vaikar as well. Thank you so much. Thanks each one of you. And the last but not least, all my faculties, and each one of them, our head of the Department of School of Management, Dr. Makran Joshi, who is unable to join because of, say, a technical glitch at his end. All of us have taken a lot of efforts to ensure that this conference takes place, and it has a great success. With these words, once again, I thank each one of you, and thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thanks, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, all panelists.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Can we leave, Prajakta?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So with your permission, can we conclude the session?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Thank you all the dignitaries. Thank you,
Thank
guests.
you.
Thank you, participants. And hope to see you this kind of overwhelming response for next year also on 6th, 7th, and 8th. So in the meantime, also we will be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijay Kulkarni, sir. We will be seeing you next year soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Once
You are
again,
most welcome, sir, on campus. Thank you, sir.
Once again, congratulations, Vijay ji. Wonderful work, and have a wonderful, safe, have a safe and healthy, time.
Thank you.
Shubharatri.
Thank you, Deepak bhai.
Deepa, धन्यवाद फिरदौस जी. ओके, शुभरात्रि. फिर मिलेंगे.
जरूर. जरूर मिलेंगे. Thank you. दीपक भाई से मिलेंगे.
हाँ, जरूर मिलेंगे. मैंने ईमेल दिया है आपको, DL Vaikar, जरूर भेजिए.
हाँ, I will connect to you.
Please, we'll be happy to interact.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great talk. Yeah, great.
I have taken down your number. DL Vaikar, no?
Yeah, DL Vaikar at Outlook.
I have taken that.
Yeah. क्योंकि वहाँ उस सेशन से जल्दी निकलना पड़ा तो I couldn't note down your one.
हाँ, नंबर मैं भी दिया था. You can, आपका मेरे को नंबर भेज दो. मेरा नंबर is 9821274825. Can you jot down, sir? मेरे को WhatsApp में.
Okay, 98212 74
not double four. 98212 74 825.
Okay, ji, I will put on my WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp I will get connected.
That's great. And great meeting you. Yeah.
And we will be on webinars and all that. I am on a motivational speaker, sir. I take on motivations.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I speak on education. You heard me on education 5.0. Yes. Okay, 5.0, 4.0 is already old.
Professor Salvatore is also here. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am is here.
Yes.
Professor Salvatore, can you hear